Hi, my name is Linda, and I'm giving my speech on how to give a great interview. You got the job interview. Now what do you do? You're nervous. But I'm going to give you the tools you need to be confident about the job interview. Be able to walk in there and give the best of you. Now, there are some red flags that will hinder a person from getting a job. And those red flags are tardiness, unsuitable attire, lack of eye contact, and communication skills. Those are red flags and you won't be considered for the job if you have those. Now, tardiness was actually all by itself down at the bottom of the list. However, you don't want to be tardy for a job because that gives a bad impression. You want to at least arrive at your job 5 minutes, 10 minutes earlier for that interview, because then you at least know where you're at and you'll be able to be on time. First thing you want to do is you want to research your company. Research the company that you're going for the interview for. Even if it's 5 different companies, research all the companies. Because each one you're going to want to go in there with confidence that you're going to have a good interview. Now you want to know the history of the company. How long has it been around? How many employees does it have? Has it grown? What's the revenue? You can actually find a lot of that information on the internet looking at their company profile. What products do they offer? Get to know what products they're offering, so you know what you're working with. What is their client base? Do they work with big companies? Do they work with small companies? Do they work with overseas companies? You want to know what you'll be doing. What services do they provide? Are they big on customer service? Are they big on production? What exactly will you be providing for that company, as long as you know what they're providing for their clients? Now, the interviewer is going to ask you quite a bit of questions. Questions that come out of left field. But you want to be prepared. So go on the internet, look at, or even read books. Look at what employers are asking people nowadays. That way you get a sense of, okay, well, how am I going to answer these questions? Even have a mock interview. Write down a bunch of questions. How would you answer those questions? And practice that. Now, some of the questions that I found were, why should we select you? Give them the reason to select you. Tell them why they should select you. Are you always on time? Hard worker? Can you multitask? Be able to answer that question with confidence. What interests you about this job? Now, you looked at the job posting, an answer can come right after that. Maybe you saw something that you're really good at, or maybe you saw something that's challenging. Let them know what interests you about that job. What are your short and long-term goals? They want to know where you're going in life, that you have a plan. That actually looks good to an interviewer, because at least they know, okay, he's got long-term goals, or she's got short-term goals. This is just temporary, but she'll be moving on. Gives them a good sense of what they're working with. And describe your most challenging work environment and how you dealt with it. That is a question I fumble on every time I've been on an interview. And let me tell you, even though it's hard, if you come up with a challenging work environment and how you dealt with it, they see, okay, this person can handle this job. Or this person might not be the one to be able to handle it. So that's a very good question to be able to answer and be answering it confidently, because this could be a make you or break you question. Now, one of the things that I had also read was that interviewers also like when you ask them questions. Now, you don't want to ask a lot of questions because you don't want to look unprepared, but you want to ask a few, just so they know you're interested. What are the long-term goals of the company? Are they going to be around for a long time? Are they going to move? Are they going to expand? Where are they expanding to? What are they looking at? You want to know so you know, okay, this might be a short-term job or this might be a long-term job. What is the culture of the company? How do they dress every day? Is it a relaxed company? Is it a very strict company? That way you know what you're walking into. What will it take to be successful in this position? You want to know how you can help them. You want to know how you can be successful with them. That gives them a reason to be like, wow, this candidate really wants to know how to be successful. Well, we're going to tell you how to be successful. So these are questions that you might want to ask when the interviewer says, do you have any questions for me? Don't hesitate. Ask a few questions. But remember, keep it real short because you do not want them to think, wow, this person's unprepared. Now the next topic I'm going to go over is dressing for your interview. You want to dress for success. You do not want to go into the interview looking like this. You want to go into the interview looking like this. First impressions are always key to an interview. That alone could probably make or break you. You walk in looking like you just woke up or just walked out of the gym and came in for the interview, they're not going to really consider you. They might take the interview with you, but you can pretty much guarantee they're probably going to scratch you off with their list. From the book you've got, The Interview, Now What? Here were some suggestions about your image. Fresh haircut or hairdo. Make sure your nails are clean and polished. You don't want to walk in there with dirt underneath your nails. Pressed or new suit and either new shoes or your shoes have been cleaned up. You don't want to go in there with mud all over your shoes. Light makeup. You don't want to go in there looking like you just had your face painted. Minimal jewelry, fresh scents, and breath mints. Now one of the things also I found out was smoking. If you smoke, you might want to refrain from doing that prior to your interview. But if you do it, what you will need to do is wash your hands, maybe spray a little bit of perfume or cologne, and put a breath mint in your mouth. Because that actually, a lot of companies are now no smoking companies, and it's actually offensive and disrespectful. So it's suggested not to smoke before you go to a job interview. If you're nervous, have the last cigarette before you leave the house. Make sure your hands are washed and you smell okay, because you don't want to offend anybody when you go into the interview. You want to do a dress rehearsal. Go into it, get all dressed up. Make sure it's the outfit you want to wear. In front of the mirror. Do your facial expressions. Facial expressions are also a first impression. Make sure that everything looks okay. Make sure that you practice. Practice your look and practice your interview. Because if you practice, and the more you practice, you'll feel more confident going into the interview and knowing that you're giving a good interview. And it will kind of cut down on the anxiety because you're prepared. Now, here we go. The interview day, and are you ready for it? Now, there are some tips for the interview day. First tip would be on time. At least arrive 10 minutes early than your interview. That way, you're there, you're available for when they're available, and you're not running late, running around like a chicken with his head cut. You're there on time, they know you're there. Make a good first impression. Smile, eye contact, a firm handshake, your tone of voice. If you walk in there mad, you're going to lay mad with the interviewer. They're not going to want to deal with that. They're going to be like, oh, okay, well this person is not really interested, so we'll move on to the next. You want to make sure you're dressed neatly and appropriately, and speak clearly. Let them know that, okay, I'm alright, I'm not nervous, you understand me. Be clear about what you're saying. Be confident. And don't answer everything with yes, no, yes, no. You want to give clear, concise answers to their questions. Have positive body language. Sit in an upright position. Make sure that you're sitting up, you look confident. Don't slack in the seat. Don't move all around, tap your fingers, anything like that. Have positive facial expressions. Don't raise your eyebrow. Don't look at them like they're crazy. You want to be able to have that impression that you're confident. Build trust. Do not lie to them. They know when somebody's lying. Be yourself. Have the right attitude. And be honest, which I stated, but that's so important. Be honest. because they don't want to find out in the end that you've been a liar the whole time. What to bring to the interview? Well, you want to bring the best of you. You want confidence. You want to show the employer, I am the person that you should be looking at. I am the person you should be hiring. At least 10 copies of your resume, because they may have a bunch of other people in there, and they may want you to give them a resume, or they may want you to give human resources a resume if human resources isn't for them doing the interview. Have a list of references. Very important. And make sure they're not family members. A lot of companies now want maybe friends, or they want actually past employers and employees. And forms of identification. You get the job on the spot, you want to be prepared. You want to have your social security number, you want to have your driver's license, whatever identification that you can have that you would possibly need, have it. That way, you're already prepared once you've gotten the job, and you can move along with the process. Now, after you've had the interview, take a sigh of relief. You get up, firm handshake. Make sure you thank the interviewer. Once again, provide a firm handshake. Let them know, hey, I'm a great interviewer. Walk out knowing you gave your best. Don't walk out saying, oh man, this was horrible, I don't know what to do. Send a thank you note. Thank them for giving you the interview. And as said by Robin Throckmorton, if it was meant to be, it will be. If not, you would not have been happy there anyway. I actually like that quote because it actually makes very much sense and very true. Because you want that job that you're going to probably spend your career in. So, now with that, in conclusion, I hope that you have the confidence that you will have a successful interview, and the preparation is well worth the work. Because being confident in doing your research, dressing for success, you walk into the interview feeling good and prepared. You walk out of the interview feeling good and prepared. That way you know, at least I know I had a successful interview. Even if you don't get hired, it's just either you weren't meant for the company or the company wasn't meant for you. But always make sure that you're researching the company, that you're answering questions, practice before you go into an interview. Make sure you're walking into that interview with confidence. And I hope this helped you, and I hope you have a good day. Thanks.